So, Ian, you spoke about, for example, the under 20, the way they won the game against South Africa. But in general, when we saw, for example, playing Ireland at under 20 is pretty much more similar to the style of play of the national team. Let's say Italy, usually there's not this like this connection, this feeling that seems being on the same way. You think should be like unified in certain way, the way to play, like the style of play that we saw now with Kieran Crowley, for example, should be pushed to the youngest age grade, or maybe focus on different skills and then approach in a different way with a national one.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Certainly here, in Ireland where I'm living now, certainly a lot of the provinces would look to have sort of similar calls, a similar calling system to even what the senior team does. So if you're a 16, 17-year-old kid and you're coming up through the rank, then it's just that seamless transition. I think the way Kieran has his team and the other coaches there that are involved playing is a way that Italy hasn't played. I don't think we've ever seen.
Okay.
If I'm to be honest, certainly in the professional era, in terms of the speed of ball they're getting, some of the finishers that they have, yeah, you could say from time to time maybe defensive lapses and things like that. But from an attacking standpoint, I mean, even if people did watch the game against Japan, like it was such an exciting game, and some of the options and lines of running and timing. But that just hasn't happened, like that. That's taken a while for those players. Like you look at Michele Lamero, some of the stuff that he's doing now on the ball, you know, 4 years ago he necessarily wasn't doing it, or wasn't doing it at the pace at which he's doing it now. So I think what's really important for any young player, no matter what your nationality is that you're able to execute your basics within your role. And I know a lot of players would maybe change position from 16 to 18. I mean, it's you got to have maybe that little bit of flexibility within it as well. But if you've got a scrum half that can only pass off one side of their hand as opposed to the other, you're going to find it difficult to go up that level. If you have a hooker that doesn't throw the ball in straight, you're going to find it difficult. If you have a second row that can't necessarily, unless you're maybe the younger Tuilagi, if you're 150 kilos, you might be all right. But it's executing those little finer details within your role. I think is just so important whenever you're getting up to the top level, because again, you have, I suppose, speaking personally as an out half, one of your bugbears would be you've got maybe a young nine coming through, and you ask for the ball in front and it constantly gets, you don't know where the pass is going to go. If you've got a young nine that comes through and his pass is sharp, his kick is sharp, you've already got the components of a very good player. And yet the experience side of things that comes with it. But I think those components are just, they're so important. And if the under 20s could mirror what the seniors are doing at the moment, it would make for complete champagne rugby. But I would personally, I would just look, more for, the Joe Sante getting his percentages up, and in goal kicking. If Italy kick a winning goal against England in Monaco a few months ago, they're looking at a victory. Those are they're the small margins. Whenever you get up to the higher level, become even smaller, but actually become greater.